Hi, I'm Jeff Schwartz of Schwartz Performance, and this is our July 2018 update. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's go check it out. As usual, we got a lot of chassis in production. We've got 9 of them here in this room, and then we've got probably 15 more that are in various stages of completion throughout the shop. So if you're waiting for a chassis, you'll get it real soon, and our lead times are coming down. This is the 67 Barracuda that Dale talked about last month with the Hellcat engine. We had to do a little mods for hood clearance. Let me show you what we're doing there. This is that hood for the 67 Cuda with the Hellcat engine, and there's a little bit of an interference with the supercharger in the hood, so we need to raise this up a bit. The owner wants to maintain these die-cast inserts that came from the factory in the hood. So what we're doing is we're sectioning the hood. We're going to essentially form it to a higher height and then add some metal in there to try to maintain the original shape with the dip in between here, but have about 1 inch more clearance. So it should be a challenging fabrication project, and we'll see how this comes out. This is that Ford F3 pickup that we're working on, the Destroyer gray one. We've got powder coated bumpers here, and we've mounted some nice LED taillights here in the rear bumper, so there'll be taillights and turn signals in there. And then on our builds, many times we'll use the stock seat frame, but we'll get rid of the springs and put modern high-density foam in there. And what that does is we can shape the seat to give you side bolsters for cornering capability, since our chassis will, pull a lot of G's there. So this is the Ford F3 seat, and you can see all the springs have been cut out of there, and then we fabricated some metal panels and punched some holes through there. You need the holes in there to allow the air to escape. Once you upholster it with the foam, the foam has air in it. When you sit on it, the air has to be displaced, so you got to have holes in there so that the leather doesn't blow up like a balloon. So what this allows us to do is we can bolster the seats, still have a stock kind of appearance, but it'll give you a lot better comfort. You won't be bouncing down the road when you hit bumps on these seat springs, and it'll give the car a modern feel to go along with the chassis. This 69 Super B, we've got most of the final bodywork done on it, and we're just mocking up all the components, gas pedal, seats, and so forth, before we do the final paint job on it. And the 71 Cuda in the background, you've seen that before. We're just going to be painting the engine bay real soon and bedlining the bottom, and we're assembling the chassis right now, which has been powder coated, so that one's going together for its final assembly. This is a 75 Trans Am that just came in for a complete build, and it was a nice painted car when it arrived here. We just got it back from dipping, and after everything gets stripped off of there, we find this very horrendous quarter panel repair over here, and then we've got quite a lot of rust down here in the lower cowl area. There was also some damage on the doors, and this was a nice painted car that looked like it was a complete restoration, but it was obviously kind of a haphazard restoration. This one is getting a LT4 engine with a fairly large Whipple supercharger. Can't wait to see how much horsepower this makes. The 70 Buick Skylark Post Coupe is coming along quite nicely. We recently finished painting the car in yellow, and we laid out the graphics here, and this has just been painted and clear coated over, so we'll be doing the final wet sand and buffing on this shortly. The deck lid is right there, and that's also been buffed and polished, so just a little bit of assembly work on putting the spoiler on there. And I really love yellow cars, so this is going to be pretty cool. This is the rest of that 70 Buick Post Coupe car, and we're just laying out the graphics on the side right now, and that should be on here next week. The metal fabrication is nearly complete on this 74 Nova. We filled in the corner marking lights, and we have to mock up the LT4 engine along with the transmission to finish up the firewall and trans tunnel fabrication. We've modified the rear floor pan slightly for exhaust clearance. The rear seat is not going to be utilized in this car. And incidentally, if you're doing one of these, a lot of the 70 to 72 or 68 to 72 Nova parts will not fit a 74. Taillight panels, things like that, gas tanks in different locations, trunk pan, just to name a few. So many of these things we had to fabricate from scratch. That's it for now on this project. This Eleanor Mustang is now in the bodyworking stage prior to paint. We also have to finalize the shape of this diffuser. Once we get everything kind of mounted and bolted up solidly, you know, we're probably going to trim that a little bit and make sure it fits nice and flush with the rear valance. So that's pretty much it for this. It's just final body work, and then we'll get some color on it. This 73 Camaro, we had it on the dyno, and it's running E85. It made over 680 at the rear wheel, which is a little over 800 horsepower at the crank. So this thing's going to be a beast. We're working on stereo installation now, and then it's going to go across the street for the interior work. I wanted to show you the 63 Impala we just finished in person. However, I'll just have to settle for a photograph since the customers picked it up yesterday. That's all for this month. Have a great one.